Hello folks, and here we are again. We are on our way into the mission challenge at the Human Comedy. We have got a different car. We are going to Lago Maggiorre and we're going to try and offer you another option, another solution to try and conquer this race. We know it's changed in update 1.31. We're now on update 1.33 and it's time I released a different car for this race. And with that being the case, let's have a look what we've got. We are going with the GR Supra Racing Concept 18. It's currently quite a handy car if you're doing some of the lap time challenges out there. It seems to be very popular for the Nürburgring. It's a bopped challenge, so we're going to attempt to do this on 2 stops. Settings for the race will be traction control 1, default ABS, everything else off. We may change that traction control. We may change the strategy. We are going in on a manual. I'd love to be able to do a 1-stopper. We'll just have to see what this is like with fuel, and if this looks like with fuel and tyres it can do 15 laps, we will probably give this a dig. So controller settings, we're on a wheel, so open button configuration, and we're running max torque feedback 5, force feedback sensitivity 6. Are we ready? There's not a lot to say, folks. All the cars we've used are the ones we've done. Ultimately, we're in the top 3 of a friends list there, all on 30 laps. Nobody's done the 31 laps yet. That is our target. Here we go then, folks. Now, this little motor has been suggested by a couple of friends. Not necessarily for this race, but I've just tried it on the Nürburgring, and it works out to be quite a nice little tidy car. But I've just driven 4 laps round here before stacking it and wrecking my race and realised this is a really good competitor. It is quite fast, and I'd say 911 fast, but it is a little bit tweaky twitchy at the back end, so I'm going to try and persevere with it on TC1. If it starts to frighten me, we'll drop it into TC2. So Mr. Huffman, just let him know we're coming. He knows our intentions. He knows what we want to do. He gave us room. Mr. Grady knows also what we're going to do because we've done it to him a few times. But we are just going to drop this up his inside. Now the key with this car is the short shift. It's got that turbo boost and it's got lots of low down grunt. That was a bit unfriendly, boys. We'll bring that to you later in the race, I'm okay. So we've made our way up to 6th place, much against the willingness of the AI. Mr. Cookabun in my second favourite car for this race, the one that is currently the fastest car. It leads the tree on the top 10 stars. And the top 3 in my friends list are actually pushing that car along, so as we can see, Mr. Rubbler there, Mr. Rubbler is ahead of Mr. Inostra in 2nd place, and that doesn't bode well for our opportunity here. Mr. Bouboir and Mr. Inostra are tangoing, so we're going to bypass straight past those 2 guys. We're going to pick our braking spot, and we're going to focus entirely on Rubbler. We're going to try and chase him down, because if he gets ahead of us, we're in trouble. Yamanaka there, fastest lap of the race, a 2-minuter, but it was the outlap, so he's always going to be the fastest car on the circuit. I know this car from what I've just experienced with the first failed 4 laps, is that this car's 56 capable. I just don't know whether the driver is. That's the difference. So as we go through these snaky corners, we're up to 3rd place. We're chasing Rubbler down, who is also chasing Yamanaka, and I might get a penalty for that. I had to lift. No, we're good. But look at Rubbler, he's chasing him down. Yamanaka is really quite fast here. He's on a 3-stop strategy, so he's going to stop around about lap 8. I've run this race so many times. I know that Rubbelaar will stop anywhere between lap 10 and lap 12. I mean, if I was him and I was out front, if I was in first place after Yamanaka pits, I'd run as long as I can, and I would just run until the point where my tyres were at the edge, and then I'd short fill to give myself as little time in the pits as possible. But we're within 4 seconds of the lead, which is excellent at this point of the race. We're only on lap 3. That was just the end of lap 2. Don't want to run off the track. Use first gear to slow the car down. That's the way. But I need to keep in touch with these guys in front, so just need to brake that fraction earlier, just to make sure I'm keeping these guys in check. So 5.19 seconds behind the front guy. Let's see if we can just make some inroads into that. A little bit of drift of the rear wheels there. That's the back end spinning up. I've got to be careful about that. That's all driver error. I know I'm quicker than the AI cars through there. We did a 58 outlap. Rubbelaar's put a 57.484 in. So he's a good second quicker than we are, but let's see if we can keep him honest. Short shift in there as we come out the corner. Just trying to capitalise on the available boost and reduce any wheel spin. So we've got them down to 4 seconds over the majority of this lap. Let's not blow it at the end here. .57.8 is pretty good for us when we're on 3/4 of a tank of fuel. We've got Yamanaka down to 4.4 seconds. It was 4.2 when I looked as I went round that corner. If he pits, I think we've got to. But I think I'll pit on the 10th lap. And we'll just keep it to 10:10. Because our first fill up will be the shortest fill we do. So we're closing in on him now. We're always quicker than them through that part of the circuit if we get it right. We're almost on for a 1:57 dead. Let's make sure we get this right. If we're within his slipstream, we can get a benefit from the draft roughly. It'd be nice if we could. Going down that start-finish straight, we've just lost a 1/10 of a second. Felt the car slide then as we got into his air as we went around the corner. Never brilliant, that. We want to take that fastest lap mantle away from him. We want to just knock his confidence. Let him know we're coming. There we go. We've got it, a 1:57.259. Which is just good to just let him know we're there. And we're reeling in Yamanaka. So they're down to 3.6 seconds. As our back end just went twitchy. On lap 5. You can use all the track, don't worry about that. Now the surprising thing is we can potentially get 14 laps out of this car. Looking at the fuel where we are. Just lost a couple of tenths there against Rubilar. He knows we're coming. He's fighting back now. He just had to hurry up from the pit wall. So he's now just going to try and pull us along. He's going to try and break away from us, but we want to try and drag ourselves with him. Keep pushing, keep running hard, change up, use that turbo boost. Could have changed up a bit earlier there. We're with Rubilar again. Car just washed out into braking in his dirty air. I want this to be a low 57. .57.306, that's good enough. Just keeps the pressure on him. As that fuel load lessens. This tyre wear is pretty heavy though, I must admit. The fronts are taking a bit of a beating. The rears are in check though, but the fronts are where the pain is. As we purple sector again, as we enter our fastest element of the track, fastest section here. And the car just went for it then, didn't it? We normally have all the grip there, but in the dirty air of Rubilar, and we lost, oh, a good 1 full second. Which is a shame. The car just broke free as we were trying to just push on. So that's the message. Need to try and just cool off on these tyres a little bit. Part of that is to just ease into the braking section here. We've got him where we want him, so we know the race is going to be with him all race. And what we need to happen is we need to get him into traffic. If he's in traffic, he's gonna cut his way through, but we need the biggest advantage. We need to be able to try and chop through that traffic as well as him. A 58.5. Let's get back on those 57s. We don't need any more warning messages from the tyres. We've got that information. I would like the car to turn and straighten up a bit more. A bit quicker than it currently is doing. So less than 4 seconds behind Widdowmaker, and he's due for his pit stop any time now. Couldn't get the car to turn then, that's because the front tyres are feeling the pain. See if we can just get this one in check. There we go, that's better line. So back to the 102.6s. We've had laps in the past down at the 1.0s at that point. That was low through that apex. Extremely low. But it did what we needed it to do. That's probably a penalty. So the race is about to hot up. We're about to start seeing the first of the pit stops. I'm expecting Yamanaka to go in this lap. But anything could happen, folks. He could have changed his strategy. He is normally a good 7-8 plus seconds clear of anybody, because he is normally running extremely fast and light. Don't actually know what car he's in, but considering he started at the other end of the grid to me, we've done well to catch him up to this point. We've only got 2 more laps to do to our pit stop. I think my watch is telling me it's past my bedtime, but it's Saturday night, Eurovision's raging. I'm avoiding Eurovision this week. I've up to the eye. I usually love the Eurovision, but it's done my nut in this week. Absolutely done me in. I've seen more Eurovision than I care to watch for. So we've just done Mr. Robillard. I feel like I've got damage. The left hand side of the car feels a little bit weak. Feedback through the steering wheel seems affected. Now it's Yamanaka we've got to chase down. If he's going to pit this time, he normally pits about lap 8. We'll know from his line as he comes out the corner. He's going on. He's going on to lap 9, so different things happening. We still have the fastest lap. I'm not used to Robillard being behind me at this part of the race. Since update 1.31, that is. Update 1.31 got lots of stick for how it changed the grip, how it changed the handling of the cars, how it changed the balancing of the cars. But what we know, folks, is that the racing is much better with the changes from 1.31. It definitely is. Just lifted the throttle as we came through there. We've absolutely blasted away from Robillard through there. He's really dropped back. And we've got Yamanaka within 3. He's going to go in this lap. He's got to go in this lap, surely. He's going to have the fuel though. It's whether his mediums are going to carry him as far as he wants them to carry him. Is he going to pit this time? I think so. He's changed his line. Yeah, he's gone in. So we're going to test the undercut now, because we're going in next lap. He was on 32% of fuel. We've got 33%. So we would have had more than he had. Robillard is behind us now then. He's in second. Beauvoir has gone in a lap earlier than expected. Beauvoir fuel saving on 35. Yamanaka is already taking fuel. We are in this lap. And Robillard is with us. He has gained 1.2 seconds in the last 4 or 5 corners. We're teetering on rubbish tyres, and we got a massive wobble there. We're now drag racing Robillard to this corner, and he's going to take us around the outside. He's going to attempt to. We're going to push him wide. Oh, I thought he was going to tap our back end out of revenge there, but we did our best to hold that. All that's done is damage our race against Yamanaka. Our front tyres are on the edge. We've been running pretty consistent lap times in the 57s. We're getting a little bit more vibration through the steering wheel than we normally get. We're going in the pits this time. Rubilar's carried on. We're taking the mediums and we're filling to 10.2. We're 17 seconds ahead of Miyazano. We know this pit stop's going to take much longer than that. But we made it to the pits with 40 minutes to go. Such a flow fuel stop. Wong's come in. We're going to 10.2. There it is. So we're down to 13th, 9th place. Behind Matson Unger in the RCF, and Lopez has just gone past in the Renault. So where are we in relation to Yamanaka? We're 2 spots up. So we beat Yamanaka out. That was excellent. That's great stuff. So we just need to get some decent laps in under our belt now. Knowing that Rubilar is out front. He's 34 seconds up. We've got to start cutting through this traffic and making the difference. There's an Astroza just ahead of Matson Unger in the RCF. We just need to make some really tasty laps over the next 2 or 3. Oh, Matson Unger just checked us there as he saw us trying to take that line. I don't want a penalty for that naughty manoeuvre. This is an out lap, so we won't be able to judge just how good this lap is. But we hold the fastest lap of the race of 57.259. As we're starting to get into the nitty gritty and the crux of it. Rubilar's gone to the pits. He's in now. We need to beat him in and out. So he's going to be lighter than fuel when we went in. He's on 26. We were on 30 something, I think. No, we were less than that. He's now fueling. It all depends how much he's going to take. Fraga's gone in. Rubilar's still fueling. He's no longer... Yes, he is. He's still fueling. We've got him. We've got him, I believe. We've made it past him. We're ahead. We don't want any crazy mistakes at this point. Inostroza's still behind him. Made up to 5th. So Miyazano leads the race in the Lamborghini Gallardo. I think it's a Gallardo. Whichever their GR3 car is. Then Kukabun in the concept car. Fontana in the F40. It's not F40, it's the GT. Ford GT concept. I think it's concept. It's the one with the funky air ducts down the side. Then Mr. Suswillow here. Oh no, Fontana's in the Corvette. Wow. We're not usually this far up at this part of the race. This car is an absolute flyer. Made a mess up of the commentary there folks, but jeebus, these guys are moving. And this car is absolutely tanking as well. Absolutely tanking. We're diving up the inside of Mr. Suswillow. Thank you, sir. Thank you for making a wall for us. That's brilliant. Miyazano is just 15 seconds ahead. What we know with that fella is he hasn't pitted yet, and he's going to go all the way to lap 15. we can get ahead of these two boys in the next few corners, we have the opportunity to clearing some laps and making some great progress. So that's Fontana off to the pits. Kukkaburn, you're going to drag us down the start-finish straight. I'm kind of hoping for a 56 in the next couple of laps. Let's see how we do. That Roti engine now sounds absolutely stunning. Let's get this car back into the 57 laps. Use all the track where you can. Where's Rubilar? I don't see him in the hierarchy at all. He's not in the top 8. Front tyres are already starting to take a beating. Kukkaburn just checking up there. That didn't help us with our lap time, but now we're cut free. Now we're at the opportunity where we're going to chase down Miazano. 13.8 at that point. I didn't see my lap time. It's not important now. What's important is we just go and make inroads into that 13 seconds. I'd like to see that down to 10 very quickly. We're up against the one-stopper who's on hard tyres. But we know this car has the ability to kick and make us suddenly realise that they are in charge. 13.1. $13.0. 57.5, that's where we want it to be. Who's behind us? Kukkaburn. 2.0 behind us. Got him down to 12.9. Can't see him. $12.5. $11.8. And we're 4 seconds ahead of Kukkaburn. I'm not seeing Rubilar in the top 8 yet. This is good. Miazano is the one that gave me a tap earlier with his disgruntled, a little bit disgruntled that I was coming through the field quickly. Car just slid a little bit mid-corner. We are pushing hard. Tyres are being aggressively worn, so Miazano's gone to the pits there. On lap 14. We had to change down to second just to check that. He's not taking fuel yet. We're 6.8 seconds ahead. That was a 58, which was terrible really. At a time where we're calling for 56s. 3 cars gone to the pits. They're all your one-stoppers. Primarily one-stoppers. They intend to be one-stoppers if the race is going to last 29 laps. Those one-stoppers normally end up taking 2, but we'll have to see where that goes. Different things have happened in this race at this point. So has Rubilar come back into it? Yes, he's up to 6 courtesy of pit stops. Beauvoir's there in 8th. Matsunaga hasn't pitted yet, and he's normally one. Yamanaka, who was the early pit leader, he's back up to fourth. So Swillow and Lopez running long. We're just outside our fastest possible split. Don't think there's much opportunity for us to improve on that fastest lap time in this stint. I think tyres are probably at their peak, have been at better peaks at this point. We're just being a bit scruffy at this moment. We'd just like to just tidy it up a bit, preferably. That's the old boost cutting in there, giving that third gear a bit of a tweak. Probably should be running the acceleration one gear higher just to stop that wheel spin. This will drop us back to another 157. That's a fastest lap. That would have been a 56 without that gear tweak, without that back end slide. We've got 5 laps to do now just to get us to our pit stop. There's Mr. Swillow in. Hard tyres, 5% of fuel. Mr. Grady's gone in. So Lopez is the only one who hasn't pitted yet. So there was me saying we wouldn't get a fastest lap this stint, and we just did. Almost in the 56s. Now, I've done the maths on this, folks. There's that back end slide again, that second gear. We need to think about using third as we increase our lead over Mr. Lopez to some 9.8 seconds. Be interesting to know where Yamanaka is, if he's right behind him. He looks to be, if the overhead is what it says it is. Oh man, we lost 1.2 seconds there with that little slippy slidey tail end of fishtail. That's not good. It's warming up in the room as I get a sweat on. Starting to feel the pressure. We came in very narrow to that corner there. We need to increase the angle there. We need to go out wider. It's not good to attack that corner quite so shallow. But if I did have one complaint about my driving style, I am a very narrow corner entry person. I do tend to shallow off a corner, and it probably attacks me quite more by the fact that I don't have the maximum acceleration out of corners because I'm still turning on the apex. And if I was to enter a corner later, then there's a chance that we could be faster overall. And I know that is something I'm working on, so if you can identify your errors and you know where you're slower and where you need to improve, it's good, because you're self-assessing and you're regulating yourself and you're still learning. You can still accelerate, of course, while you're turning, but it just impedes you, because that's why I end up using traction control a lot. Look at that purple sector. Wrong gears, car didn't turn. That's all down to the driver. That's driver error. Lap 17, just 3 more to go. 18, 19, 20. At the end of 20 we pit. I've had to lift there, the front end's not turning. That's tyre wear. 10.6 second lead over Mr. Lopez. He's holding up Mr. Yamanaka, which is beneficial to us. We're only 0.4 off our fastest possible lap, so we're doing all right. See if we can widen this corner up. Turn in just as we hit those red and whites. That's better. That's a better angle. Gives us a much better angle for this part. Short shifted up to 6. 11.8 seconds in the lead. Not forgetting, we're going to be pitting again soon. Yamanaka's just overtaken Lopez, and Yamanaka's going to pit before we do, which again is a massive benefit to us being out in front. Where's Rubilo? He's up to 5th. He's just... Some of those guys are about to pit, so Rubbelaar is going to probably make his way up to 3rd place. And then Yamanaka's going to pit, so that'll be Rubbelaar behind me. So there's an open bit of track between him and us. Yeah, Lopez and Matsunaga are about to pit in. Matsunaga's gone in. And our back end's fishtailing all over the place. We don't need that. That's terrible. The back end just broke free. Just watching the acceleration under boost. Just trying to be careful. It's frightening, that. So 10.6 ahead of Yamanaka. Car is feeling really ropey. Tyres are feeling really warm. We really have pushed quite hard in this stint as we run off the track again and get dirty tyres. Try and just run a couple of smooth laps. Lap times are slowing. This is an exceptionally rapid car though. It really does nail the tyres a bit. But hey ho. On to lap 19. We can see a back marker in front of us. We don't normally see the back markers till we're into the 3rd stint. Mr. Yamanaka's now gone in. So we're now 13 seconds ahead of Lopez. Beauvoir has gone to the pits. So Rubbelaar is in 3rd place. I'm looking back and he looks to be a little further back. Short shift up to 3rd and the back end went under boost again. Hisal's gone to the pits. Have we missed that corner because we were looking at the timing list? Come on, 13.5 seconds. Can't be making these kind of mistakes. I think that's going to be Moreno ahead of us. He is a fair way back. I don't know what his strategy is, but he does seem to be a way off the pace. It is Moreno in the Jaguar. Second lead as we are about to enter lap 20. So hopefully Lopez is just holding up Rubbelaar. No, there's a gap between them. Moreno, come on. Are you going to the pits or are you just blocking me? You're just blocking me. Thanks. I saw that tick 6. That was a 2-minute lap. Jeebus. Because we had that little twitch. We're going in at the end of this lap. 1.4% of fuel, so we can actually probably pit with 9.6. We could probably come out of the pits with 9.6. We'd probably actually be wiser to go a full 10. Just knock off the 0.2 that we always put on for safety. Back end was just starting to go, could feel it. That's why I would recommend we use this view, folks. You can feel so much more about how the car moves than you can in car, unless you're racing VR, of course. We don't race VR, we don't own it at this time. We have PSVR but not PSVR 2, and PSVR 1 doesn't work with this. Here we go then, folks. Pitting in at the end of this lap. It looks like Rubilar has caught Lopez some 17 seconds back as we went very narrow again into that corner. We're short shifting. 18.3 seconds up. Rubilar is now past Lopez. He's going to want to chase us down, but we are going to pit in, and then we're going to end up chasing him because I don't think he's going to pit for a couple. We are now good to change, good to pit, good to pit, good to pit. Full speed into the pit lanes. Take them mediums and we're going to come out on 10.0. Just to make sure we got enough. Those tyres took an absolute killing, didn't they? Absolute killing. But this will take us all the way to the end, and this car is rapido, folks. Tip-top car. So we're down to third. Fuel's going in, tyres are changed. They're bald as coots. Fraga and Gallo next. 8. Fraga's gone past 9. 10.2. Take the usual fuel limit. I'm not expecting Fraga. Oh, there he is. I was saying I'm not expecting him to be far away in that tidy looking NSX. Mr. Gallo. So all of these boys in front of us have got a pit. We're 24 seconds off the front. They've all got to pit. Every single one of them. We were just diving in a little bit early then. Now hopefully we can pop in a 56 on this one. Remember, 18 minutes to go. Sorry, Mr. Gallo, just had to lean on you just a fraction. Slide you through there, my lord. 23 seconds off the front. Really looking for when these guys are going to pit. 3 of them in front of us as we're in 4th place. So that's Gallo gone in. 5 seconds behind Mr. Fraga. I think I've just seen him as he dove round that corner. There he is. So lap 22, Rubilar leads, followed by Lopez in 2nd, Fraga in 3rd. We've managed to get ourselves up to 4th place. We're 2 stops down, but we're fighting with a car that wants to be in charge of us, but it's extremely fast. We're just 6 seconds now behind Fraga. We're anticipating the top 3 are going to pit. Yamanaka's in 5th, Wong 6th, Miyazano 7th, 8th Beauvoir. I believe Yamanaka, Miyazano and Beauvoir have pitted. So we just have to see, a bit of a lottery. I think we're 100% certain of the strategies around us. Yamanaka's a one stopper, no, he's the three stopper, so he's got to stop again. We're not stopping anymore. 20 seconds back now. We've taken a bit of time out of Mr. Rubilar. I'm kind of expecting him to pit anytime soon, but we got back markers amongst us as well, or is that Lopez? Is that Fraga pushing Lopez? No, it's Mr. Moreno. And Fraga goes to the pits. Use Mr. Moreno for some draft. Going to go around the outside. So we're up to third. 9.5 seconds behind Lopez. I'm expecting both of them to pit, as I say. And there he is, there's Lopez. I'm expecting this to be horrifically tight. I know Rubilar will be a splash and dash. He's going to be pitting with something like 30% fuel, so he's only going to need to take 20%, which will take him about 4 to 6 seconds. He's going to be around about a 20-second pit stop. So whatever we can do, I'm anticipating him filling up to around about 50% for 7 laps if he's going in this time. He's going to take tyres, absolutely sure of it. We've just got to put in a couple of laps just to get up to him. We're going to short shift and try and capitalise on the boost advantages of this car, and we just want a couple of laps where we're not going to get any weird or woolly step outs under acceleration. And there's Rubilar, he's gone to the pits now. 20% of fuel, which is kind of what I expected. He's got to take 30%. That'll give him... He's not started his fuel yet. That's Lopez in first in front of us. He's now started his fuel. We have got 13 minutes left of the race, so it looks like we've got 7 laps to do. We're going to get halfway through lap 30, it looks like. We're not going to be able to challenge for that 31st lap. But Rubilar's come out of the pits in 4th place. Yamanaka is 8.5 seconds behind us. That's the place to watch. Once we've got past Lopez, if we're not starting to pull away, that's the battle to watch. But we know Yamanaka's going to pit with probably 3 laps to go, as we're absolutely reeling Lopez in, hand over hand. That little McGann is a good little mover. It's just not going to cut it in this race though. So we're going running, sprinting for the finish. We're going to try and control the race to the end. No mistakes. We don't want any mistakes. We want to keep the lap times in the 57s. That means we're going to have to force him to run faster laps. That 157, 150 is probably under threat. Not from us at this minute in time. We're going to run very close to a 58. Maybe we actually are going to run a 58, which really flies in the face of the advice I've just given myself. Back markers. Oh, we don't need back markers. There's a 57.9, very close to a 58. We recovered that. We were actually going to run a 58.1 there, but we managed to get a decent final end of the lap. That sector 3 was really quite good. It looks like we have another back marker in front of us. It is. Is it Mr. Sana? 4.6 seconds ahead of Lopez, who leads Yamanaka over Rubilar. It is Mr. Sana. He's just making this difficult by taking that line. Just lift of the throttle gets us through that corner. 5 laps remaining after this one. Half a second down on our fastest lap possible. This should be a 57.5 though, which, please forgive my cough, that came at a very demanding time. 8 seconds ahead of Lopez. And my monitor's about to go off. We don't want that. Oh, I'm going to crash. Oh no. I should have done this anyway. Oh dear. Oh, that was really uncalled for. That wasn't good. 8.24 seconds in the lead, as we had, well, we've been at it 4 hours, folks. We've been doing various things. Actually, I've failed this race. I've been trying to get a car I've never driven before, just like this one, to complete a one-stopper with a win. I was able to complete 30 laps, but finished in 3rd place on a one-stop strategy. The car is actually quite slow around the track. That was a 2-minute lap. That was poor, but we did have the minor technical failure of a monitor shutting down. It's on a 4-hour timer. I'm going to have to fix that. I'm going to have to turn those things off, but I'm sure I've turned them off already. So Rubilar is yet to pass Lopez. What I've worked out is I was about to say it's better to accelerate in 2nd gear, but it's not. You've just got to manage it. Oh, my left leg is telling me I've had enough brake today. This is going to be a slow lap as well, isn't it? Come on, Jimbo, don't blow it now. We're 8.7 seconds out of Yamanaka. We're not pulling it out. We're not actually increasing the lead. I think Rubilar feels like Rubilar's giving it up. It feels like this is ours if we can just drive it to the end. I'm extremely hot and sweaty. So 27, 28, 29 and 30 to go. 4 laps. Don't think we're going to get to the 31st, which is a shame, but this car is a little gem. If you've never completed this race, this is one to use. It'll be able to deliver you some relatively fast lap times. 57 is really good. We missed the opportunity to get a 56. But fast laps at this stage of the race don't really warrant, they're not really warranted. It's more about driving it to the end. Mr. Fontana again. Not the guitarist, but the race driver. See if we can pick up some slipstream. 8.2 seconds out of Yamanaka. Fontana's just blocking that inside line. We're going to have to take the outside run. We're a bit higher than we want to be. Back end tweaked again in second gear. Minutes 31 remaining. We actually need this to be at 6 minutes when we get to here for us to take that 31st lap. We need to gain another 40 seconds. If you think of all the mistakes and you add up all those laps over 157, all those laps that have those 2 minutes in, and the 2:01 that we did, still not going to take us there. That's why the one stop is so important. But you've got to do one stops. You've got to do a race on one stops at 57 seconds a lap. And that is beyond me. So we've just pulled out the lead to 11 seconds. Just saw that flick up there. It's now just scaled back a little bit down to 10.5. But Mr. Robillard has come to the front. Mr. Boubar's up there with him because Yamanaka's pitted. But Mr. Boubar is up there as well, so they're now pushing. They're going to just try and get this back in their park, but they've got a long way to go in just 3 more laps, 2 more laps, 29 and 30 to go. As that car fought me around the corner there. So we've got a few mistakes to cut out before we can make that 31st lap challenge. But folks, this is a massively good car. It is pretty tip-top. A race between this and the Porsche around here would be an absolute gem. To do lap 29. That looks like Mr. Miyazzano or Mr. Matsununga. It's going to be Matsununga in the RCF, isn't it? That beautiful paint job. Really do like it. Bouvar's gone to the pit, so he ran his tyres out. He's got plenty of fuel. So he turned that 2-stop into a 3-stop. Lopez there, he's turned his 1-stop into a 2-stopper. Lopez did really well to push that 1-stop that far. But will he take hards just to finish that 1 lap? Or will he change it to mediums? So this fella here, he was pushing a lot higher than this. To drop down to 16th is, well, not representative of his race, I think. Got out of the way quite nicely there. We've got 1.9 laps of fuel. We're doing perfectly fine. We can actually drop half a lap of fuel on each fill up, I think, which might save us 2 or 3 seconds, you know, to get that 31st lap in. So if we were to take 9.5 laps of fuel, we could probably manage it at both fill-ups. And that little half lap of fuel, that little half lap of fuel less might just give us the opportunity to drop into the 56s if we remain consistent. So here we come, 1 minute 25 remaining. We need to find 40 seconds to allow us to finish that 31st, or start that 31st lap. 10.8 seconds. Rubilar in second. Yamanaka in third place. So he pitted and came back. Mr. Fraga in fourth. Miazano, who gave us that little bit of running in the first early parts of the lap. He needs a tap for that. Lots of little pit stops going on, so we've stretched the race, forcing people to do these extra pit stops that I'm guessing they hadn't planned on doing because of these getting to this 30th lap. Pushing them to lap 31 might even break them even more. I know this car's probably possible. This car's probably got everything it needs to do that. Mathematically, at least, you've got this driver to deal with it. Here we go then, last half a lap, last 1/3. Just about to go through the last timing check before the end of the lap. Underneath this gantry, there it is, 1.6 seconds slower, so we're putting in a 59. We couldn't do that if we're attempting to beat that lap time. Here we go, 0.6 per lap of fuel left, so we can drop half a lap of fuel every time. And here we go then, folks, through the line, another 159 to finish off. Really, really, really good car. Really, really good car. And there she is, the GR Racing Supra Concept 18, ahead of the M6 GT3 Endurance model. Look at that, Yamanaka's in the same car as us, so that tells you where it is. Decent car. Got to try that 650S, got to try the NSX, we've done the Mercedes, the Huracan we've got to try. Look at that, the Renault RS01 GT3, that's up there in 8th, that's got to be worth a go. And the car I really like, the 911 and the RX Vision, are 9th and 10th. So all of those cars up there we haven't really tried, so we've got to try and do them. But there we have it, folks. And that takes us to the end. So thank you very much for stopping with us, folks. It's really appreciated. We will see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.